Lincoln MKZ fans. I'm going to talk today, since I know you already know this because of the intro to this video, but we're going to talk about the emblem, the lighted emblem that you can put on, and how I did it, how you can do it, and the easiest way for wiring it, I'll show you a little bit about how to put it in. I'm not going to get into the mechanical part too much. It should be kind of obvious, and the wiring is not so bad, but there's two ways. You can wire it to come on anytime the power is on the car. If the car is in accessory mode, or if it's actually running, then the emblem will be lit up. So your running lights, daytime running lights, if they were on, it'd be on at the same time, and that's the easiest way while it's running. The other option that I put in mine is I wanted it to come on when the Lincoln Embrace, the little welcome thing that lights the daytime running lights, come on as you approach the car, and if it's night, it shows the Lincoln emblem projected on the ground next to the front doors. So it would come on that way too. That one's a little more complicated to do. The first one is going to be easier because you just hook to the fuse box. I'll show you that here in a minute. The second one, to try to find a place where the power comes on, because the emblem just wants to see 12 volts. And to find a place where the power is off until you want it to come on, then the voltage pops up, is a little difficult because almost all the lights on the car have multiple wires go to them. One of the wires is 12 volts, but that 12 volts is on all the time. The lights themselves come on when they're commanded by the computer. So the other wires that go to it, the ones that actually you would tap into to say, okay, I want the emblem to come on, aren't really just 12 volts. They're digital signals. I'm not sure whether they're pulse width modulated signals. I think that's what they are, or some other form of communication from the computer. But the 12 volts line is on all the time, so it doesn't change whether the lights are on or off, and the lights themselves come on when they're being told through those communication lines. So that makes it a little difficult. So I looked all the way around and found that the one set of lights when the car comes on for Lincoln Embrace, the welcome, is the lights at the back on the side fenders, and those come on with just 12 volts. So that's what I tapped into. What that means though is you have to run a voltage line then from there all the way up to the front, and mine's a hybrid, so I put a voltage regulator back there. In this video, whenever I say regulator or voltage regulator, what I meant to say is relay, and by relay I mean this relay you're looking at, and this is an Amazon thing as well. You can find it by searching with the words above the top there. And hooked up to the battery back there, so it's the actual voltage line that runs the light, that runs all the way to the front underneath the car. And but if you don't have a hybrid, your battery's up front, then my thought is you would just hook up to the light back there and run that wire all the way up to the front, and then have a relay in the front to do that. So, but first of all, I just want to talk about running it, having the light come on anytime the car is on or in accessory mode. And most people would, that'd be absolutely fine for them, and because they'll be on daytime running lights or nighttime with the headlights. Uh, the center light in the grill would be on. Okay, this is the drawing. Uh, Here's the emblem here, and so the emblem has two wires comes out, one red, one black. The black wire you can fish around and hook to a chassis somewhere, so hard metal ground. And the red wire then will go to the fuse box. As I show here, fuse number 3 is one that I'll show you here in a minute, is maybe the easiest to get to. And so it's on the driver's side, this fuse box. Now this diode that's shown here, if all you're going to do is have this connection and not deal with the light coming on when the Lincoln Embrace comes on, then you don't need that diode. And you don't need any of this stuff here in the red part. All you need is the wire going over to the fuse box, which is right near the battery and things in the front of the car, or the battery connection in the hybrid cars. So with that, I'm going to show you the connection that I used. This is a Amazon thing. This is, let me tip up a little bit. As you can see, it says Job & Co. store. That's the dealer, but this is Amazon, and you have to buy 5 of these, but they aren't that expensive. This, you can see these 4 holes, and the fuse, which looks like this, goes into these holes. And this device here allows you to take where there is a fuse, you plug this into where the fuse is, and then you take the fuse that was in there and you plug it into these first 2 set of holes, and then you have a second fuse here that has the output of it is this wire. So you can connect that, the second fuse here, that goes to, in this case, to the emblem, the lighted emblem. And I'll show you that on the car here in a minute. And the connection in the car, if I stand next to the driver's side, fender, and look toward the passenger side, the engine's is that way. This number 3 fuse is right here, and it has enough space around it to allow you to put this thing in. Any other places, there aren't many other places that would even have the right voltages at the right times, but this is has the plugs in there, and then these 2 fuses that I was showing you on this, since this goes like this, those 2 fuses go here on this side, so they stick out that way, and there's room for it in the fuse box. And so you put the 2 fuses in, the one that was there already for this fuse, and then the second one that goes to the emblem. Now this other end down here, this blue, this end is a crimp. So you can take the red wire that comes from the emblem and you put it in there and then crimp this right down on it, and that makes your connection, and you're done deal. Now the thing about this is this really wants to be mounted the other direction, because the power comes in on this first and goes out on this. But the space that you have here, and what I did was back here in the corner, right back here, I took a pair of cutters and cut a little notch so that the wire could go out through that hole, a little hole in the side of the lid, once the lid's in place, and over this fuse box. Now, what happens is you have the fuse that's there already. This happens to be for the windshield wipers, and I measured them. The amount of current they're drawing, putting this 300 or 400 milliamp light in that is not going to hurt a thing. And so by having the two fuses here, and you put it in backwards, the power from the light actually goes through the fuse for it, and you only need, 1 amp would be okay, but you put in a 3 or 4 or 5 amp fuse there, and then the power from that then also goes through the other fuse when you mount this with the wire coming off this way. Doesn't hurt a thing, works just fine, and there's really no risk there. Let me go show you the actual car, and like I say, it's pretty easy. That's where you go. You just pull the fuse that's in there out, and it's about a 15 amp fuse, and which that thing doesn't draw anyways near that. And then we'll proceed. Okay, here's the car. Here's the hybrid. And if you look over here, I've got the lid. That's the lid laying there. And right over here, off of the fuse box. And here's the fuse box I was showing you. And you can see it comes out and goes off this way. The wire from the emblem, this red wire, is, you have to strip it back. You see it comes, this black wire is coming from there, and you fish it all the way around over to here, and the black wire I crimped to a connector that looks like this, and then put that on there that grounds it. So that becomes the ground wire. And then the red wire, which is the power, you fish. Now I have it connected to this brown wire here because I'm putting a diode in. You don't need to do that if you're only going to use this power on card powered up mode. But you bring it right in here and crimp it right into there, and put your 15 amp fuse that was in number 3 in here, and then the one you see on the top here is another 15 or a 10 or even a 3 or a 1 that you can get, and that'll work. Just shove it in, and away you go. Now I'll try to open this up a little. Now this panel here, as you can see, has a whole bunch of these little plastic clips, and you have to take that off to get to the grill, behind the grill. And the wires that go, or the cable that goes to the latch is connected under here, and you can disconnect it, but you can also just swing it this way and out of the way, and then by that you get access to a little teeny crack between this grill and the rest of the car, the radiator and things, and you can get in there with, I used a big hammer because the handle's round and it's wood, so it's not going to scratch things up, and pry that enough to slip in a piece of 2x2 in over here and here to hold that open just enough to get my hand in there, and then you can get down in. And in order to get that broken loose, you have to get the old one off, and the old one is Here's the old one. And as you can see, I'm going to lay this here. This one here is a latch that pulls back, because this is two parts. This second part here is behind the grill, and this part's out front. So in order to get that off, you have to unlatch this. And it unlatches really hard. I broke this one to get it off. And then this falls off, and that's all that holds it on. When you put the new one in, it has screws. And you put the screws in through this and go down in here with a little stubby screwdriver, and you can screw that on from in behind with your hand down in there. And if, depending on the brand you get, some of these, the wire that comes out of here is in the way enough that you have to drill a hole in a piece of the grill back here. There's a plate back in behind that, and you may have to drill a hole. This one you didn't have to do that. It was laying down flat and didn't have the grill being in the way to get it through. Once you get it back behind, I fished it over this way and around, came all the way around here, and it's plenty long enough to get over here. So that's for that part. Now, and if you, like I say, if all you're doing is making it come on anytime the car's on, and that's probably pretty adequate, really. But if you want it to come on when you walk up to the car, if the car's locked, the Lincoln Embrace only works if the car's locked. But if you want that to come on when the Embrace lights up, then you have to go back and wire. I don't know if I can got enough light back here to show you, but there is back here on the fender a light that lights up, has 12 volts, pops on when the Lincoln Embrace comes on. And so you have to splice into that. There's no connector there, so you have to kind of very carefully scrape the insulation off and solder it, is what I did, and then coat that. It's exposed, it's under the fender from the underside, so you have to coat it with silicone so that it won't get wet. And then you can run that wire all the way up here and put a bolt to this thing for ground, and put a regulator in, hook up either to the positive voltage here, or the hybrid, the battery's right back there. I just did it back there, and then ran the output all the way up here. But that's much more difficult. So, and then I use these clips like this to clip the wires together, and that's another Amazon thing. So hopefully you'll have good luck and get it done. And I appreciate it. I like mine, but give it a try, and good luck.